Today is Thursday, May 6, 2021. It's 6:30 in JFK Middle School Building Committee, virtual and some present. May we have a roll call, please?
Randy Daigle.
Here.
Greg Stritch.
Here.
Scott Copen.
Here.
Amy Dennis.
Here.
Caitlin Dunn.
Here.
Todd Kinnon.
Here.
Kevin Margolfo. Michael Monfort.
Here.
Jeff Oken.
Here.
Christine Debani.
Here.
Thank you. Andrew LaPlante.
Here.
Andrew Barrios.
Here.
Gina Cicala.
Here.
Joe Muller.
Here.
Walter Cruzell. Stacy Thurston.
Here.
Chris Cycli. Samantha DiAgostino.
Here.
Bruce Kellogg.
Here.
Joe Lexi.
Here.
Emily Sarnicki. Amar Shamas.
Here.
Marcus Brennan.
Here.
Nate Gingerella. Thank you.
All right, we got a full house tonight. Thank you, guys. Did everybody get a chance to review the previous meeting minutes dated April 1st, 2021? And if so, are there any comments or corrections?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 1, 2021 as issued.
Second.
We have a show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous. We don't have any guests this evening, so we'll move right on to the architect's report. We go right to the top. Jill.
All right. Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
I'll quickly replace you. That's all right. We still love you.
There we go.
We still love you.
So we have an update to the design for the exterior school sign. So I wanted to give a brief overview of what we are proposing. So let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know if this is quite legible or not. Okay, so the existing sign, as you can perhaps see here, has an overall dimension of about 8 feet. So looking to the new sign, we're proposing again this interior illuminated signage piece on the top to also be at the same width, 8 feet, and then the LED display board underneath it.
Speak up a little louder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, I might shift one of these. Over here. Okay, might be a little better. So assembly of the sign itself would be 8 feet long with the interiorly lit sign that says the John F. Kennedy Middle School up top with the logo, and then an LED digital display board underneath. And then we'd also have 2 brick piers on either side that would be 2 foot wide. That combined with the little overhang of these precast caps at the top gives us an overall dimension of 12'4". So when we look at the existing site plan, this is where the existing sign is. And then, just sort of for reference, this is about how much larger our proposed sign would be right here. We're also interested in proposing some new lighting for the existing flagpole right here, just to kind of draw a little bit more attention to the front of the school there. And then as well, going in the flagpole theme, this is a site plan. This is the rear of the building. So just to orient you a little bit, This entrance here is going to be the new entry for that new auditorium. And then we have a little bit of a plaza out front. The thought was that if students are, holding games out here.
We good with this? Should we take it to a vote to allow JCJ to go ahead, schedule a meeting with P&Z?
Do you want a motion for that?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we ask JCJ to proceed with this design and present it to P&Z.
Second.
Any other comments? All in favor, show of hands. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Great, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the rest of the architect's report.
Rest would just be continuing to be on site here every Thursday and just assisting with making sure that the design intent is followed and any questions that arise, I help out on.
There's also two other pieces. One is Emily and Jill met earlier today with Gil Bain to talk about furniture move-ins for the next phase. Mid-July is the cafeteria and surrounding areas. And then by the end of August, the next classroom wing for furniture. And concurrently with that, GTC has been working with the technology department for the school district relative to purchasing iMacs and getting those purchased and having the technology equipment installed in time for school in September.
Anybody have any questions for the architects? All right, we're gonna move on to the CMR. Again, we go right to the top. Marcus.
Good evening, everybody. I put up the slideshow as usual. I'll quickly walk through the photo updates. There we go. So you obviously can see the site outside. We have started developing the loop road around the back. So the existing driveway around the entire back of the building has been ripped up. A new process has been put in place.
Is now joining.
Welcome.
Hello there.
And we're working our way around with sidewalks throughout that area and curbing with plans to put binder course down in the month of June. This one gives you a good look at the auditorium addition. Obviously, you see the sidewalks going in place. Looking at the building itself, you can see the new curtain wall in place and the three double doors. Thank you. And if you look at the larger structure to the right, the auditorium, you see all the plywood that's been on there for a decent amount of time already. But if you look at above the roof, you can see the red material. It's a cement board siding that is going up around the entire exterior of the auditorium. It's done on the opposite side of the auditorium as well. So if you look from the road, the parking lot these days, you can see that siding nearing completion, and it's going to wrap around and finish around the front of the auditorium that you can see in this picture. Moving inside the auditorium, so this picture is standing on the stage looking out. In the distance, you have the 7 windows that are at the back of the stage. You can see 2 drywall clouds that are nearing completion. One of them got painted today, and the other one will be painted shortly. Looking at the walls, you can see the drywall and fire taped drywall in place. Wood paneling is going to cover all the walls, sides, back, as well as the 3 clouds that you see up close in the picture. And that wood paneling is actually scheduled to arrive on site tomorrow. So we've got the air handler on the roof turned on at this point to control humidity in this auditorium as a wood product for the ceiling and walls, and eventually the stage flooring will need to be maintained properly. This picture is basically standing at the tiered seating section looking back at the stage, so just the opposite view. You can see here the theatrical lighting. I slow down the mouse. You have a row of theatrical lighting out in front of the stage, and then you also have theatrical lighting on the stage itself that is in place and ready to go as soon as we get the area clean enough to test that. Moving over to the old Black Wing, so the B renovation area. The left picture is the future band room. The ceiling, you see a cranberry colored ceiling grid in place, blacked out acoustical insulation above that. All completed at this point. The only thing we have left in the band room is put the finished flooring down, put the music cage work in place. Smaller picture to the right is the art room. You probably saw last month, most of that millwork was in, but now we're completely done with these rooms in this wing. Ceilings are padded out, floors are in. We're essentially waiting, now that we've got the units starting to turn on, we will get the doors swung and start cleaning that wing of the building. Area C, this is part of the addition just outside the gymnasium. This is the locker room area. Left picture is obviously the toilet area. Right picture is the locker room section. Within a week's time, both the locker rooms will have the floor tile done, and we'll be putting in all the fixtures, and we're working our way out of both of those locker rooms in completion.
You won't see that much of the tile.
Right. Actually got dizzy at the moment. Right.
Once the benches are there, to smooth it down a little bit.
So this is the cafeteria, the old yellow wing. So this is the old pool area, which is now the cafeteria. Excuse me, left picture, you're looking out toward the corridor that goes toward the gymnasium. You can see we've essentially had a ceiling grid done. We're roughing in MEPs. We're in the process of getting final above ceiling inspections in this area and to pad it out. And then we'll have flooring and wall tile left to do. If you look at the right picture, that's looking at the servery. So through those 4 openings is where the kids will go to get their food. And behind that is obviously a kitchen. That wall where you see the gray board will be all ceramic tile when we're said and done. So staying in that area of the building, left picture is the expanded CAF, which is where the old girls' locker room area was. So this is additional seating for a 4th area of seating for the cafeteria. Also in that section of the building is what is the cardio area. That's in the lower right picture. Lower right picture, we are essentially wrapping up. We have some more painting to do in there and then install flooring, and we'll be working our way out of that area in the month of May. This is a picture of the kitchen. You can see the walk-in boxes are now in. There was a floor that needed to be placed in the walk-ins. That took place earlier this week. You can see the ceiling grid starting to go up in this kitchen, and that'll wrap up through early next week. And then we have the epoxy flooring contractor mobilizing mid next week with about a 2-week duration of epoxy flooring throughout the kitchen and walk-ins and servery. And then the kitchen equipment itself is scheduled for the end of May. Gymnasium. So as everyone is aware, we took over the gym at April break. We have completely abated the area at this point. We're waiting for final clearances on the PCBs, which were for the majority were within the poly that you see here at each joint. So behind that poly, from floor to deck, we removed all the CMU that was contaminated by the PCB caulk that was adjacent to the column to the CMU. So we have all that CMU to rebuild, and shortly we'll discuss an ATP for some glass block demolition within these walls. There are old windows hidden within these walls that nobody knew about that need to get abated and properly the masonry put back. So the gym is progressing very well. We'll be wrapping up completely with demo as soon as this floor comes out in the next 2 weeks. The crew started yesterday replacing the roof of the gymnasium. And is nearing completion already with that process. So possibly tomorrow, if not early next week, the roof will be done in this gym. And we'll be working our way into overhead heavy rough in the gym very shortly. Last area to talk about is the area G, the white wing. So if you remember, we took this area over mid-February. Roof is done. Windows, as you see, are in. New precast sills and brick are done, with the exception of the few windows we left out for temporary storm drainage and a loading bay. So that area progressing very well. This is the roof. Lower right picture is the roof of that wing. You can see the new EPDM down. You see all the galvanized pipe stands. That's for all the ductwork that's going to be mounted on this roof. Very similar to the blue wing that we completed a couple months ago. You can see the rooftop unit is already landed, and all the duct curbs are in place with the galvanized duct down into the rooms from that roof. The middle picture to the left of that is a run of run of conduit from the blue wing to the white wing. This is the main power feed for the white wing, essentially connecting the dots. From a phasing perspective, we needed to put the conduits on the roof to get power to this wing in time to get it up and running over the summer. And then the left picture is just the current status of the electrical room within this wing. I believe this is the last set of photos. So left picture is standing on the first floor of this wing. You can see substantial overhead MEP rough underway. You can see obviously all the lockers and all the demo has been done. We've started framing in the new clear story openings for that clear glass that goes from the hallway to the wings. The right picture is the room, the science room, walking armory. Everyone's awful. Alright, so the right picture is the science room on the second floor. You can see the stud work that we've started throughout this room, which is pretty typical for most of these rooms. This is one of the teaching walls that gets the dry erase paint on it. The clear story glass obviously goes over this area to the hallways. All the soffits are starting to go into place on both edges, as well as the chase that conceals the ductwork. So overall, we're progressing very well in G, along to get this done for the end of the summer. And then this is just the typical map everybody's been seeing throughout the project. We are obviously in phase 4 now, which simply included taking over the gym, which you saw in those pictures. So, any questions on schedule or progress?
Oh, site work. How are you doing on site work?
Site work's going very well. The fields in the back are coming along, as you saw, Randy, when we walked. We got all the walks prepped, and we're working to mobilize the paving company, and obviously you saw the concrete company out there putting in sidewalks already. So.
Looks awesome. Anybody have any questions or comments? Walter? Anybody have any comments? All right, we'll move right on to the owner's rep. Right to the top.
Okay, so we have been continuously coordinating with the school and Gilbane as well in terms of getting items moved in and out of certain areas in order for them to do construction. So we did a couple moves during April break so they can do some work in some of those classrooms, and we'll continue to coordinate again with Dr. Barrios and Gilbane to make sure we are prepped for the big move and major construction that's going to go on during the summer. So that'll happen at the end of the school year. We are also working on getting the next payment into the state. There was an issue with the town and getting the passwords and usernames and things updated, but we are coordinating with the town and the state in order to get that process. And I think that's it for me.
All right, anybody have any questions for the owner's rep? Very good. As you can see, everybody's been really doing their due diligence, keeping this project where we are. We're in great shape, so if there's any concerns, there's no need to be. We're gonna go on to the budget subcommittee. Everything we're gonna be presenting was Anything that wasn't approved will not be presented, so anything that gets to be presented tonight is something that we approved and are moving forward for payment. Sir?
Okay, let's start with the ATPs first. On the agenda, Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP number 8, RFI number 88, beam penetration for sprinkler piping, $4,240.
Second.
Can we get an explanation?
Exactly what it says. There's existing beams, structural beams that we needed to create holes in to allow sprinkler piping to run through them, as that was the only option to achieve the design. And this was in area B of the building.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 60, electric hand dryers, $79,969.
Second. So this puts electric hand dryers in all the gang bathrooms throughout the building in place of paper towel dispensers at the request of the school. So I think there's 23 or 24 hand dryers that will be added, and obviously the associated power for that is included.
So this is something that the town is in the middle of changing over because a lot of the kids, unfortunately, are using the paper towels to clog the toilets. So we went through a series of different dryers on volumes to determine the least offensive, so you're not listening to the dryers halfway down a hallway, but still achieve the kids to be able to dry their hands within a couple of seconds, not sitting there for 15 minutes. So this ended up being the best of all the situations, so we were right with this one. Are there any comments or questions?
Question, Randy, so is that also for the bluing, we have to modify the bluing to put them in, or are they already in there?
No, we need to modify the blue and put them in.
Okay.
Yep. Any other comments, questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 72, RFI 390, paint color change in quarter areas P3 to P1 for the balance of project except area A, $17,525.
Second.
Kevin?
This is to upgrade the paint from just a whitewash, a single coat, to basically a 3-coat application for the majority of the areas that have brick to remain.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 73, RFI 391, additional prep work at glazed tile for the balance of the project, $15,753.
Second. So this is, for the most part, throughout the existing gang bathrooms, the walls that were to remain are glazed tile. This is an upgrade to the prep process, and an upgrade to the primer for the better longevity of the paint product.
Just to give a little background, some of these walls have the glazed tile, if you can remember, just due to the age and years, sometimes the primer was effective and sometimes it wasn't. So initially, some areas received it, were receptacle to the primer, and we're finding out that the remaining areas aren't. So this is why there's an add service to it. Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 85, RFI number 355, stair handrail extensions in area F, $3,085.
Second.
All right, Kevin.
Just.
This was a building department request at the end of turning over area F. They requested the handrails at the top of the stairs of the double stair, get a hand extensions so that when you're at the top landing, there's an extension rail, so that you properly land safely, if you will. And we are moving forward with those revisions in G and H as well, at no cost, because we're able to catch it ahead of time.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 86, RFI number 345, demolition of existing chimney, $4,985.
Second.
So this is the cost to infill the opening that'll be created by the demolition of the existing chimney at the existing boiler room, to infill it with metal decking and roofing material after the demo is completed.
So the chimney's not gonna be needed once we do the renovations, and for the cost that would be required to replace the cap and the repointing of it exceeded the cost of demoing it and removing it. We did verify any of the antennas that were up there. Out of, I think it was 5 of them, only one of them is still being used. That one was relocated to the side of the building, but it was just something that we didn't need to maintain anymore, so we removed it. Any comments, questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 87, RFI number 373, M-Seal control joint behind walk-in cooler, $2,945.
Kevin, second.
This is to correct an existing masonry condition at the back of the new walk-in cooler area, rework a masonry lintel and install an M-Seal control joint so that the masonry can expand and contract appropriately.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 88, RFI 395, new WB1 walk-through corridors where existing was to remain, balance of project, $2,365.
Second.
So WB1 is wall-based one, so this is the rubber base at the flooring. Majority of the hallways here, originally, the old glazed tile was to remain. The condition of that is not presenting well, and the design team decided to move forward with covering all of that tile with a rubber base throughout the corridors.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 89, RFI number 393, rebuilding of brick jams where glass block previously installed, balance of project, $27,681.
Second. It's supposed to be Kevin.
So this is anywhere the glass block was installed throughout the building originally was not called out to be PCB caulk joints. They are now PCB caulk joints, so additional demolition and replacement of that jam is required throughout several locations throughout the project.
Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 90, bulletin number 19/19R, changes to laser cutting machines layout, casework portion only, $5,499.
Second.
Bulletin 19 issued by JCJ, revisions to the laser cutters due to the town already owning some laser cutters and this essentially some floor layout revisions and some ductwork revisions. This ATP is only for the millwork portion of it, as we need to get that millwork into fabrication so we have it in time.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 91, RFI number 411, lot and lentil at G220 stairwell, $4,124.
Second.
So this is the single stair in in area G. The lintel, which is at the head of the window, is in a condition that's not acceptable. So this is to remove that lintel and replace it and to rework the brick in that area as well. It's an estimated cost as we want to make sure we get to the full root of the problem with the leaking efflorescence of the brick in that area as well.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 92, RFI number 414, added support steel for gym partitions, $11,781.
Kevin, second.
So when we got in and started demolition in the gymnasium and took down the old operable partition, we attempted to validate that the existing steel was strong enough for the new partition. Unfortunately, it is not, and this cost is to add some steel supports for the new weight of the new partition.
Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 93, RFI number 418, discovered transite pipe, balance of project, $24,423.
Second.
So this transite pipe is the underground storm piping throughout the site. We need to obviously abate it and remove it in order for the new storm piping to go into place.
Again, this was an unforeseen situation, so once we exposed it, we found out it was positive. So. Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Any abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 94, RFI is numbers unknown at this time. Modify existing gym window infills with new brick due to PCBs, $57,817.
Kevin, second.
So within the gymnasium, just this week, we discovered more windows hidden within brick infills. Apparently old windows within the gym were infilled over the years and they left the glass block and the associated PCBs there. We are getting those removed and replacing the masonry in turn.
So this was a situation where it was unforeseen. It was kind of a hidden gem, unfortunately, within the block that once we removed it, we couldn't test it beforehand, so we didn't even know they were there. The drawings don't show the windows being there. It's just a drawing, so it's just the conditions. Show of hands. Any other questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain?
Could we blame that one on Mr. Neville?
Pardon me?
Can we blame that one on Mr. Neville?
Sure, he's not here, so yeah.
He was there then, so.
All in favor, all right, unanimous, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that completes all the ATPs. We'll move on to invoices now. The first invoice is from Gilbane Building Company, application number 19, for the period ending April 30th, 2021, $2,679,073.64.
Second.
Kevin,
Do you like, all right, any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve JCJ Architecture invoice number 25 dated 4/30/2021, $44,276.03.
Second.
Ooh, what competition going on here?
About time.
Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve CSG invoice number 16 dated May 5th, 2021, $26,980.32.
Second.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain?
We're only approving that because Samantha's here, it's Christmas.
Thank you very much, unanimous.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Samantha, we double it. Of course we covered it.
Exactly.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, motion to approve contractor and equipment company, invoice ES 38677 dated March 30th, 2021 for the sum of $36,212.53.
Kevin, second.
All right, any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve a second invoice from Contractor and Equipment Supply dated March 30th, 2021, invoice number ES 38778, $19,747.80.
Second.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve TRC invoice number 472368 dated May 5th, 2021 for the sum of $28,161.
Second.
Kevin, second.
Too late. Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve Independent Materials Testing Labs invoice number 4707-1 dated April 16th, 2021, $1,675.
Second.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve Robert H. Lord Company invoice number 34195-1A dated February 12th, 2021 for the sum of $186,242.92.
Kevin, second.
Any comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain?
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman, that concludes all invoices.
All right. Anybody have anything they want to bring up for old business? Anybody want to bring up anything for new business? All right, Communication Subcommittee, how we looking?
We're looking good. No updates. Jill sent me over some pictures. She's gonna get some additional pictures on Thursdays when her site visits, so we can keep the site a little bit more live. But we're good to go. Marcus, if you can share that PowerPoint with me.
Will do.
Thank you.
Anybody have any comments? All right, our next meeting, what do we have it?
The next meeting should be May 20th, 2 weeks from today. I suggest we leave that meeting as scheduled, and if we don't need it, we can cancel it at the last minute.
Everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Committee comments. We'll start with the liaisons. Yes, sir.
Great job, everyone. Thank you for all your work and attending these meetings on Zoom. And That's all I can say. Keep it up.
Do, the Board of Ed or council want to have a presentation anytime soon, or they've been kind of keeping up to date with what we're doing?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Marcus if he can forward me that clip. I'll show it next Tuesday. I'll throw it out to him next Tuesday.
All right. We can do a special song and dance if we
Yeah.
need it. If not, we can just continue doing what we're doing then.
Okay, I will, I'll show him what he's got prepared and I'll ask the question.
All right, everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I think between Joe and I, we've done a couple of updates to the council. I think Joe's done a couple of slides too. So.
Okay. Well, if you guys want a separate one to elaborate a little further, please let me know and we can set something up. Either virtual or, are you guys meeting in person yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
Yeah.
either do, all
And
right,
on
so we can either do it virtual or in person if you
and on
guys want.
the council side, they could do a 6 o'clock special meeting too.
All right, well, let us know. We'll be more than happy either way, but thank you guys for keeping everybody informed. Committee comments? No comments. Anybody have any good to the order? Any happy, positive news they want to share?
Glad to see everybody without a mask here. Oh,
What's that?
glad to see everybody not wearing a mask.
You're trying, oh yeah, good.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Finally.
I may have my second shot tonight too.
You didn't get your second one yet?
I haven't got my first one yet.
No.
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
Seconds.
Oh, so close.
Thank you guys very much. All in favor, show of hands. Thank you very much, unanimous. Bye, guys, good seeing everybody.